What's up, everybody? This your boy Nate Drink from the Nate Drink One Sports Podcast channel, and I wanted to stop by and ask you for your support and your help on my channel and also on my show channel at A Drink of Wisdom. I drop new episodes every Saturday, and you can catch me on all the social media platforms under Nate Drink One. And with that said, here go a quick snippet of one of my most recent shows. Thanks for your support, and remember, let's talk some sports, baby. And I'm out. Day better than yesterday. And you know what we gonna do. We gonna holler at you until next time, baby.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and kick over to the conference finals that are already in progress. Miami stole game one from Boston in overtime, 117 to 114. Jason Tatum missed a game-winning bucket with the game tied, and then in overtime was blocked on a dunk attempt by Bam Adebayo. The game was back and forth, and if any game one is in this game is any indication, it looks like we're in for a couple more of these, which was really good. So, Drink, does this game one result surprise you at all?
No. Listen, you have white collar employees, then you got blue collar employees. I look at the Western Conference and they got a couple of white collar guys over there. Then I look at the Eastern Conference and I see a bunch of blue collar guys in the trenches, guys that's gonna get it done. And this series show you Jimmy Butler, take a ball. You are looking fantastic when you leading this team the way you do. I will remind people, Miami have two players on this team that's on the all-rookie team, right? Kendrick Nunn and Tyler Hero. Then you got Jimmy Butler that's all-NBA. You got Bam Adebayo that was on the all-defensive team. The reason I bring this up is because when you have a multitude of players that's awarded players, you're doing something right. From Pat Riley to Eric Spoelstra to Jimmy Butler to Gordon Dragic, if you want to say it, to those rookies. Something is clicking in Miami. To caveat, you go to Boston. You got Jason Tatum that's been on the rise. You got Jaylen Brown that's on the rise. You got Marcus Smart that's playing probably the most pivotal playoff basketball of his career. You got Daniel Tice they was talking about last night. You got Brad Stevens. Once again, why do I bring that up? Because from Danny Ainge on down to Daniel Tice, the setup is good. The reason you got two teams in the trenches like this in the Eastern Conference, because you have smart guys in the front office that know how to get it done. They've been getting it done on the court, and they've been getting it done off the court. Was I surprised? No. I think this series will be a dogfight all the way to 7 games. It's just a matter of who make the last shot. We seen it with Jason Tatum. He make that shot. They go off. He missed it. Miami did what they did to close it out. It is what it is. But when you got games like this is what we're here for, folks. This is the conference finals. As much as I like a young sweeper Rooski and a new broom, you know what I'm saying? I'm here for the trenches. I'm here for the warfare. And this is what we seem to have with the Eastern Conference Finals. So to answer your question, Cody, no, I didn't see anything that actually surprised me, but I did see things that encouraged me, and I'm loving what I'm seeing out of the Eastern Conference Finals.
I'm not surprised by this either, especially the fact that the game was so tight and really came down to a last second, really fantastic defensive play by Bam Adebayo. Also, keep in mind of how really red hot Miami is. They swept Indiana. It was a gentleman's sweep against Milwaukee, which was highly impressive. They've won 9 of 10 games in this playoffs. They are about as hot as you can get, and they're the best three-point shooting team like right now. And 16.
They was during the regular season as well.
Right. So yeah, they got that going. And we've talked about it. They got Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, and then just shooters, just everywhere. They from Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hero. You talk about the rookies, and don't forget about Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson is the best shooter they have, and he's already as a undrafted rookie a complete dead eye shooter that you have. And you see in how teams play him, you have to they guard him like he's Steph Curry. Maybe not the same range, but they give him the same attention when he's coming off screens. But Jay Crowder, Goran Dragic. There's a lot to like on this team. They play so well together, and we talked about it a little bit before. I don't know how you'd rank NBA leaders across the board. But this is every time Jimmy Butler comes away with another accomplishment, such as first round and beating Milwaukee, it is such a joy to watch, because we've seen him go through some things in Minnesota and Philadelphia where guys that he played with just didn't have the right mindset. Because when you really truly want to win and be great, there's a price to pay. We think about, you could probably compare it to when Dwight Howard went over to the Los Angeles Lakers, and him and Kobe Bryant did not mesh together. It's just no secret about it.
And Kobe told me he was soft. You soft.
Right, and I mean, he wasn't wrong. I mean, they just couldn't get him. And Dwight Howard was more about, having fun and all that type of stuff, and it wasn't as serious as it was for Kobe. And that's why ultimately it was a one and done stop for Dwight. He went on out of there. So, I mean, it's just good to see Jimmy Butler in a situation where he's able to lead and he has guys that are willing to follow him and not offer pushback. That's great to see. But on the other side, for Boston, ultimately, Boston was right in this game. Tatum and Brown. So we've said all season, or at least into the second half of the season, Boston was going to go as far as their two young wings could take them. Marcus Smart has been playing fantastic. He's really elevated his game without Gordon Hayward. He deserves a lot of credit. But it's going to come down to a couple things in this series. Number one, will Miami fall off a little bit from three? I think that's a big deal. If they keep making threes at this clip, it's going to be tough, because I don't know if Boston only was -3 from the three-point line. I don't know if they can keep up to that degree if Miami stays at this pace. But a couple other things, and both on Boston's side. Number one, this may be the series that not having Gordon Hayward will hurt. Because if you have Gordon Hayward, and it's not so much that you really need him as your fourth scorer, because I think he's just a luxury item in the lineup. But what it does is it just lengthens your bench out a little bit more. Maybe you put Marcus Smart back in his bench role, or maybe you bring Gordon Hayward off the bench, but you don't have to rely on some of these guys that are unproven, like Grant Williams and Robert Williams. Maybe you let them guys sit back and just, take the rest of postseason off and just use them in emergency situations. Because I think Gordon Hayward is a guy you'd much rather rely upon than Grant or Robert Williams. No disrespect. But also, in the last point, Kemba Walker's got to be better. I mean, that's just the bottom line. Kemba is the one guy for me on Boston where every time I'm watching him, I'm just like, where is Kemba? Where is Kemba's shot making? Where's the step back? Where's him getting to the free throw line, making big plays, making those clutch cardiac Kemba plays that you go back to his days at UConn? We just haven't seen it. That, to me, along with just a little bit of Gordon Hayward, those are the missing ingredients for Boston. If Kemba can just raise his game up a little bit, I think Boston can be fine. But if he don't, this is probably Miami's series to take. But I do think it goes long. I think it's a 7-game series, and I think it's a toss-up.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I noticed from the Boston side of things is that I thought Boston was the better team for a lot of the game, but the last 5 to 7 minutes of this game really got bad for Boston. They played the game not to lose. They kind of went into not kind of like your team goes into prevent defense to try to hold on to the victory in the NFL, and you wind up losing anyway. And there's so much good you could pull out of this game for him. But all I can think about is that end of the game. There were so many possessions where Kemba was just dribbling around 3/4 of the shot clock. There was one where he literally dribbled for 20 of the 24 seconds, just going around. Or there's 4 players just standing there while one dude's playing iso ball, and it really is exemplified by Jason Tatum's shot at the end of regulation. I mean, they have 12 seconds to inbound the ball on that side of the court, and he takes the ball in, and he just sits there, and he's just sitting there with the ball on his hip, watching the clock. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, woo! And he just throws one up. He jacks it up from Tom Brady's new house, 60 miles away. And I get you got to burn the clock to a degree, but when you stand there for 11 of the 12 seconds, you don't really leave yourself any options. No one got involved. No one moved. And I can't imagine Brad Stevens drew on his whiteboard a picture of Jason Tatum as a stick figure, and they said, just, hey, go have fun. So I don't know what was going on in that game and why you're jacking up a 3 in a tie game. Any shot will work. You can draw a foul, make a free throw, go home, you win. But no, we're just going to sit here and jack up 3s. And then, of course, on the take on the overtime, Adebayo, what a block. My God. I mean, that's some grown man stuff right there. But again, it's because I think one of the biggest things that Adebayo does in the series and why he might be an X factor is he's really dumping on this Daniel Tice like high screen and roll stuff that Boston loves to do. Adebayo's too good on the switch, man. He switches over, and then Tice can't really take advantage of the mismatch because, well, he just doesn't have that offensive repertoire to do so. So I'm kind of in the option of like maybe we try a little bit more of Wanamaker or Williams, try some different things because I don't know if that's going to work against Miami. But yeah, I mean, Miami's they're taking advantage of opportunities when they're presented. They're playing well, and I think that Boston matches up fairly well with them. But it took game one, and they could take a couple more and win the series. We'll see. Let's go ahead and preview the other conference finals game real quick. We've got Lakers and Nuggets, not Clippers. So Drink, we'll start with you, man. What do we think of the Nuggets? I mean, how much of a chance we giving them, right?
Well, listen, like I said earlier, I got to put some respect on their name. So I'm gonna tell you right now, LeBron and AD and crew come out here with some BS, sleepwalking. The Lakers have been known in the bubble to give away game one. I don't necessarily think you want to do that in this series. You're going to need to come out and press the gas. The Nuggets ain't no joke. That's all it is to it. I'm going to put some respect on their name. I don't care if you up 3-0. Clearly, these dudes don't go away until you win that fourth game. That's clear. That's evident as day. But with that said, listen, the Lakers ain't finna play around. I think LeBron is the ultimate leader. He going to get AD. AD going to sit him down. Booker going to sit him down. Jason Kidd, that coaching staff, Handy, all of them, they're going to sit them down. They're going to say, hey, listen, these boys ain't here to play. We shouldn't be here to play. This is our opportunity. We got blessed with an opportunity even though we didn't look for it. We was preparing for the Clippers. We got the Nuggets. As good as the Nuggets been, the Nuggets do have clear weaknesses that they can exploit a lot better with the Nuggets than they would have with a motivated Clippers team. We've seen that. Now this is your time. Let's do it. I think LeBron will get them ready. I don't see that series going no more than 6. That's the worst case scenario. But I can see the best case scenario. They come out with the young Sweeper-Ruski. They come out with the mindset because here's the deal. The Lakers got all the ingredients you need. Good leader. They got a tough guy. And let's not discount what Rondo been doing in the bubble. That's what they needed with a second ball handler. And he's been making it happen. Playoff Rondo, folks, is a real thing coming to a theater near you. And here's the deal. They're going to come. They're going to do what they got to do. And I do think the Lakers, they take care of business. But, let's see. It's not – when I was making the white collar point earlier, this one is not the meet you in the trenches series I think that the Eastern Conference is going to be. I think this is about your star players, more about the star players in this conference champion. And I think the Lakers duo will outplay the Nuggets duo, so forth and so on, and the Lakers win this series.
Yeah, much respect to the Nuggets. They deserve it. But, no, I don't give them much chance to win this series. I'd probably put it about 10%. That's just where we're at. And what it's going to come down to for Denver is it's going to be all about Jamal Murray because Nikola Jokic, let's think about these things. Remember, the Clippers have always been susceptible all year to the big man. They just don't have – they have Zubats, and then, they just downsize when they bring in their bench. So Jokic had that advantage. And even Zubats, he's not going to be able to handle him. But now you got a situation where you face the Lakers, and we know how sound they've been defensively all year. And they got a plethora of big fellas that will be on the court, challenge them. Like AD is going to get his turn at them. You'll have McGee in there. You'll have Dwight Howard. And I don't think McGee and Howard, they're not going to be able to completely shut him down, but they're going to be able to bother Jokic. They're going to make things difficult on him. He's going to work for every bucket. And then at times when AD guards him, that's going to be fun to watch. That's going to be interesting. I think AD can shut him down. I will tell you that much. So it's going to be all about Jamal Murray, and can he just go bonkers from 3 as he has done in the –
I was going to say, and let's not forget about that help defense from LeBron. I ain't seen nobody really beat a good help defense from LeBron when you got AD, wearing on you as well.
Yeah. But, yeah, for me, for the Nuggets, really the only chance that I see they have is if Murray goes bonkers, then you'll have to have maybe Michael Porter, maybe Gary Harris. Somebody else has to get hot to – there's got to be a third guy that's got to step in and help because Jokic is going to I don't expect Jokic to just fold and have an awful series. But I just think he's going to have to work. He's going to have to work extremely hard, and he's going to be challenged defensively. Like I think they're going to put him in pick and roll situations, make him guard, and it's going to be tough on him. But the real question is, I mean, when the Lakers go up 3-1, do they blow the series? I'm here to tell you they do not. They will lose Game 5, but they win this series in 6 games. They're just too good. And last point, there is a lot of pressure right here on the Lakers right now because we said it all year. The 3 best teams, and I'm not budging on this. They're still the 3 best teams, even though 2 of them are gone. The Lakers, Clippers, and Bucks. The Clippers and Bucks are gone. So the Lakers, the title it's theirs for the taking, and I think Denver they should win this series fairly handily. I think they're that much better, but they can't be complacent, and they don't play with the off and on switch. Yeah, and I think a lot of credit for that should go to LeBron. I think he has a lot to do with keeping those guys focused, and I think they will be focused. I think they maybe get a little careless in Game 5 when they're up 3-1, but they'll make it to the finals. The only question is, like, now, when you put Miami or Boston, I think there's a little bit of pressure for, going back to the death of Kobe Bryant, this series being a little bit about him being a tribute. And look, legacy-wise, when you talk about GOAT debates and all that, 4-6 looks a lot better than 3-7, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. We just had this conversation last week when we talked about the Clippers and the Nuggets, and we're all like, Clippers 5, maybe 6. They take a game off. We're already doing it again. We're like, yeah, okay, so when the Lakers move on, we're talking about legacies, but it does feel like the Lakers should just do what the Clippers should have done. Your duo shows up. And it is opposite. Now Jokic is the guy that's going to have the defensive issues where he didn't have those as much against the Clippers. And now Murray is the guy that should be more like let loose off the chain. But like you said, it's really the same formula. If Paul Millsap's hitting big shots and Porter's hitting big shots, you're getting good minutes out from other guys, it's going to be a series. I mean, no doubt. But if AD and LeBron don't just collapse on the stretch, I don't think they're going to. They feel like a much more cohesive team. I think Kyle Kuzma can give them some good minutes. He's going to make sure that some of these other side contributors ain't going to be doing as much. I think AD can really put it to Jokic. And, yeah, I think we're right, but I think that it could go 6 or 7. I really do. It might have Game 7 in this one too, but the Lakers should take care of business like the Clippers should have. Leave it to that.